every second of every day. New information is being entered into databases around the world at a rate that defies the imagination. At the last count, there were an estimated 5 million databases. Even more staggering is the fact that the total amount of information in the world is reckoned to be doubling every 20 months. Banking, insurance, credit reference agencies, government departments, marketing companies, as well as police and intelligence forces are all adding to the proliferating pile of data. For some criminals, that actually makes it easier to escape notice. At present, many police forces, like the Essex Police in England, rely on software called HOMES. Standing for Home Office Large Major Inquiry System, HOMES allows police to store the many thousands of bits of information about an inquiry. All the suspects, clues, car registrations, and so on. And there's no doubt it's a vast improvement on the old card index system.
We used to have a very big card index. The classic example was the Yorkshire Ripper inquiry, where the weight of the paper meant that, and the index meant they had to move the office from the first floor to the ground floor because otherwise there was a danger of the floor collapsing. There was also cases in that particularly large inquiry where individuals were seen on a number of occasions. Inquiries were duplicated and they shouldn't have been, and this system has stopped that happening.
But in the end, HOMES is really just a glorified filing system. It still takes thousands of hours to sift through the data and make sense of it. And nowadays, that's not enough to keep up with the billions of bits of information being generated. So the major crime-fighting agencies, such as the FBI, Interpol and New Scotland Yard, are having to upgrade their computer storage capabilities to improve their methods of detection.
The problem, as many of them are discovering, is what do you do with all the information that's being generated as a result? How do you process it? How do you turn it into a successful intelligence tool? Computers are undoubtedly the best way of storing information from criminal investigation inquiries, but they don't solve the crimes.
If I enlarge that section, you begin to see.
The answer could be this computer software called netmap. Designed in Australia for commercial applications, netmap is proving to be expert at what's called data mining, combing through vast databases and converting volumes of impenetrable information into shapes and patterns we can all recognize. At first glance, you might mistake these images for mathematical designs or abstract works of art. But zoom into the circles and lines and they reveal names, companies, transactions and meeting places, sorted into categories and connected by lines of contact and communication. Dutch police used netmap to solve a drug-related murder in Holland and arrest more than 90 people. First of all, they asked Interpol to access their database and provide all the information they had on 3,500 people with criminal records, their associates, their addresses, their cars and phone numbers. Then they used netmap to sift through all the data and look for any links between those people.
So the first thing we did is we just asked the system to show us all of the known criminal contact data that exists. So this picture here shows you 3,500 people and all of their data completely at random. If we put that through the emergent algorithm, what it does is electronically, in about 2 seconds, show you all of the criminal groups that they actually are members of. And this type of work would take literally man-years to work out. Here you can see little groups of people of 3 and 4, and the satellites here actually showing you the internal criminal links that exist within their groups. But because there are no links across the center, you can see that they're not a member of a huge criminal organization. That exists up here. You can see that pattern and stands out very boldly. Not only can you see all the people involved in it, but you can see exactly how they're all linked to each other. This top right-hand group here was identified by the Ireland police as being mainly narcotics people, and the bottom left group is actually mainly murder people. This person here is obviously the key liaison for the narcotics group into the murder group, and if something happens to him, he's backed up by this person.
Were the police aware of those connections prior to seeing this netmap
No,
presentation?
they certainly weren't aware of the connections. They were aware of some of the people and recognized some of the names. But again, what netmap is also doing is helping you prove to yourself convincingly that this happens to be the case. You may suspect something, or you may think that something is the case, but what netmap does is it takes all of the data and allows you to see all of the data and not miss anything. So the margin for error is almost completely wiped out.
Hard to see and harder still to detect, white-collar crime thrives behind the respectable exteriors of high-rise corporate and public sector buildings. Every year, highly skilled professionals siphon off billions of dollars, protected by a smokescreen of complex bureaucracies and company structures.
So here in Australia, where the system was first developed, netmap is being used to help unravel the intricate web of relationships that connects thousands of companies listed on the Australian Stock Exchange.
The Australian Securities Commission has more than 3 million company documents in its database, comprising 11.5 million pages of information. With netmap, they can keep tabs on directorships and cross-ownerships and plot the movement of cash flows and share transactions. And since the software can operate as a single interface across multiple databases, all that information can be cross-referenced with, say, tax records. And it can all be done very quickly indeed. From the corporate world to complex networks of criminal syndicates, netmap is set to become a powerful new weapon in solving the crimes of this century and beyond.